Prologue to Tomorrow. Chapter 1. Eye of the Storm. Two months later. In the dimly lit room, silhouettes lurk in the shadows. Holographic screens flicker with images of protocols being sold. Each flash is accompanied by a symbol marking their status. In the corner is a man whose pockets are heavy with poker chips. He takes out his phone and inputs an encrypted code with ease. The dark web interface on the screen sputters, then pops up a series of windows, even more mysterious. Top secret. The truth behind the N109 zone. Oh, look at that. Did anyone know what happened to the N101 zone? Okay, lots of stuff. Rumors say over 50 wanderers showed up out of thin air, almost causing a riot. Maybe an Ether core attracted the wanderers. Someone trying to frame the wanderers, maybe. Don't spread rumors. Saw known protocol smugglers near the Silver Screen Hotel. Lead? Investigate and report back. Aha. A photo appears on the screen. Surrounded by bodyguards, a notorious protocol merchant walks into the hotel.
Welcome to the Silver Screen Hotel.
We work overtime for 2 months dealing with these protocol smugglers. After that, it's vacation time.
Several hidden bugs and cameras fall as Simone deactivates them. She brushes off the dust on her hands and casually tosses a transmitter into the corner.
After Operation Ether Ordeal secretly started, this is our first mission together. I figured we'd have chances to work together since you are also here. But things have gotten hectic with mission after mission.
Simone used to be in Unicorn's armament tech. She has the micro-modification evo. And ever since she increased my Hunter firearms firing rate by 2-fold, we've gotten along well. Yeah, Lincoln's been a mess lately. I wonder when things will settle down.
At least it's nothing compared to the N109 zone. I heard you went in all by yourself 2 months ago. You made a mess out of Ani Kindness's protocol auction and left unscathed. You even managed to...
She lowers her voice. Her tone is half teasing, half curious.
You even managed to get your hands on a real ether core, right?
But who told you about this? That's the first time I've heard about it.
No one. But it does coincide with when you were away from the Association and the incident in the N109 zone. The Association launched a covert mission, something about investigating the recent chaos in Lincoln.
Simone trails off, but I know what she's implying. This operation is for the Association's best. A few probably noticed something was unusual.
Relax, this is top secret stuff. There aren't even leaks, let alone whispers. I wouldn't mind catching a glimpse of this ether core to see what all the fuss is about, though. Anyway, the N109 zone whispers about an ether core, and suddenly the groups on the dark web go nuts. I thought the Association wouldn't bat an eye, but then Captain Jenna showed up and dragged me into the Special Operations team. It feels like we stumbled into something big, and that rumor being passed around becomes a truth. I always believed the ether core existed, I just never thought there was more than one. If these smugglers have the real deal, that baby's going straight into my railgun.
The elevator keeps climbing, as if it's taking us to a rooftop that's directly under the Deepspace tunnel. For a second, I feel like I'm back under the N109 zone sky.
Allow me to jog your memory. From your past to your future. To even all the crimes you'll inevitably commit. After all, you and me, we're the same.
My memories are too fragmented and unclear. Is it because of this ether core? My hand touches my chest, the warmth pulsating like another heartbeat.
Heads up, you two. We hacked the hotel's security system. You've been whitelisted and can come and go as you please.
Andrew, the captain of data analysis, is micromanaging all intel for Operation Ether Ordeal. He is communicating via earpiece.
Rendezvous in conference room 3909. It'll be showtime in 5 minutes.
A holographic 3D map of the hotel flickers to life before me, modules snapping into place. Simone winks. She's very proud of her latest gadget.
The moment you meet up with the target, Evil will be transmitted through your contact lens's device to alter his memories. He'll think you're the buyer he met before. You have a 30-minute window, so make it quick.
Understood. We'll grab the items and see if an Ether core is present.
Anyway, we can fight our way out if things go south. Are you doubting my new gadget or her Evol?
Simone adjusts my dress as she equips a protofield disruptor that's shaped like an earring. Our reflections stare back at us in the glass. Simone looks stylish in her secretary attire, and I'm wearing a simple, elegant dress. I didn't think I would be an heiress again after I returned to working as a hunter. At least my time in the N109 zone taught me how to bluff. A ding announced that we've arrived on the 13th science floor. Simone and I exchange a look. Here we are. Let's do this. One hour later.
With all this fuss, I thought I'd finally see the real deal, but these were all duds.
While we didn't get an Ether core, the mission wasn't a waste of time. We have these modified protocors. The protocol smugglers are taking away, and Simone and I return to the Hunters Association.
Special authorization confirmed. Good job, everyone. Do your weapons or gear need to be maintained or repaired? Put them on the table. And just between you and me, Hunters Huntin' is serving a fancy meal tonight. Don't miss out.
The little robot loudly whispers as it almost waddles into the armory with my weapon.
Simone, your gear's suffered some wear and tear lately. Over 65% of it has been damaged in the past 2 weeks. If she didn't help you control your Evol, that number would have been higher. 70% at least.
Andrew is glued to his multi-screen setup. The windows flicker to life like a digital butterfly swarm.
Look, if building a powerful weapon turns out to be a mistake, you can punish me. Also, lead Andrew, it's been 2 months already. Are there any signs of that Ether core? I can understand why the association hasn't told anyone about this. It can't be about saving face, no?
Alright, check this out.
A rolled-up combat unit form lands on the table. We look up to see Jenna walking towards the control desk.
Captain, what's going on?
A weird yet familiar feeling pulls at my chest. I unfold the uniform. There lies a flat, round object I recognize.
It's a hurt knave's head.
Simone wrinkles her nose in disgust. Without missing a beat, she snatches a pen from Andrew's desk and uses it to push the head away. She ignores the look on his face. How could they just leave a head? Where's the protocore? Jenna finishes drinking her water and tears open the package. She takes out a bread roll.
Because there was only the head. It showed up on Faye Street without anything else. The protocore must still be in its body, but who knows where that is. So, already you can see something's not right here.
Everyone casts their gazes on me. I slowly nod. I can sense a protocurve. It's similar to the one I brought back from the no-hunt zone, number 7, 2 months ago. But there's more to it. Is it related to the Ether core?
Yes, we've detected a large beta protocurve on this head.
That's a new fancy term. Captain, what's a beta protocurve?
Jenna takes a moment to gather herself. She stands up and the control desk flickers a couple of times. A holographic 3D map is projected from it.
Remember that incident last month? It occurred on the 8th at 9 a.m. Lincoln Bridge's main pier disappeared from the river for 20 minutes. And on the 14th at 3 a.m., rainbow mists appeared in Goldwood City. Specifically, they materialized in 6 districts within 4 seconds of one another. Then on the 29th, an incident occurred at 4:30 p.m. An ice cream parlor in the Ring Imperial Center was flipped, and customers on the top floor were trapped in the first floor's freezer. The Wanderers behind these have one thing in common. The protocurve produced by their protocores are capable of distorting space itself. We're calling this unique protocurve a beta protocurve for now. I won't get into the details of the analysis. However, after comparing it with the protocurve produced from the Deepspace tunnel region that's in the N109 zone, our current findings reveal that...
Jenna leans forward. She grips the control disc to emphasize her words.
An ether core is involved. Based on our observations of these Wanderers, the Intel Department and Advanced Tech Labs predict we'll observe more beta protocurves in the future. That's where new ether cores might appear.
On the map with Lincoln City at its center, points of interest start appearing. They are potential locations, and they're everywhere. Some are even thousands of kilometers away from the city.
Everyone, it's getting dark. Night will fall, and we all know the big guys lurking in Lincoln's shadows are about to make their move.
Captain Jenna revealed a lot of info today. There's another ether core aside from the one in my heart and the one in Silas's eye. But it could be in any of those locations, and this ether core might be incomplete, similar to how the one in my heart was at first. It will take some time to find that ether core.
Our mission goes beyond just collecting ether cores. We also need to investigate the shady organizations that covet them for their own goals. They're essentially a ticking time bomb. We'll split up for now, but try not to alert the enemy. We don't want to make things worse. Hey, I don't know what you went through in the N109 zone, but this operation is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't be a hero every 5 seconds. Patience is key.
After spitting out my toothpaste, I put down my toothbrush and stare at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. I unearthed some interesting info in the Association's archives today. There are also a few loose ends from my time in the N109 zone that needs to be addressed. I should first deal with what I can handle right now, so... Choose a clue to investigate. 1. Thorns under the moon. Investigate the crystal shard of the monster, Zayne Branch. 2. Land of secret flames. Investigate the high-profile suspicious tycoon, Raphael's branch. And 3. Voyage of the outcast. Pursue the wanderer causing disappearances, Xavier's branch. Start with 1. Thorns under the moon. The sound of footsteps reverberates, a hollow echo upon the marble floor. Looking up, Zayne once again sees that familiar silhouette of the girl. In the quiet hospital corridor, its walls grayish-blue and dimly lit by incandescent lights, only the girl stands bright and resolute. Yearning to call out to her, yet incapable of making a sound. He has no choice but to quicken his pace. He runs after her. Yet at that moment, terrifying black crystals erupt from the surrounding walls.
No. Stop.
Without warning, the entire space distorts. Those sharp spikes hurtle towards the girl's throat. Panicking, she turns to face him. As their eyes meet, her lips quiver in despair, softly whispering broken, disparate sounds. Zayne! 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 Inside Axel's rehabilitation center, Zayne suddenly opens his eyes. He's in a sleeping pod, and his unfocused gaze slowly adjusts. Did you have another nightmare?
Yes.
Looks shell-shocked. Rubbing his temples, he sits up. In his eyes is a reflection of my concerned expression.
Don't worry. Lying down in a large box with eyes staring at me. If I could sleep well with that happening, then you'd actually have something to worry about.
Hey, I care about you, and what else am I going to do? Someone hasn't gotten a good night's sleep ever since he returned from Mount Eternal. He also keeps using nightmares as an excuse. After returning from Mount Eternal 2 months ago, Zayne's house hasn't been good. It's gotten to the point where he can't sleep at all. However, he doesn't talk about what happened in the Arctic. This recurring nightmare is the only thing he's willingly shared with me. You still have a business trip next week. At this rate, the doctor might end up collapsing before his patients.
Even if I collapse, there will always be another doctor to take over. No matter what.
I press my finger against his lips as a warning. No matter how many doctors there are, they're for other people. My doctor is right here in front of me.
All right. I'll be careful and stay alive.
Don't let my worries be a burden on you. I think you started having nightmares after I gave you that crystal fragment from the N109 zone. Zayne takes his coat from the coat rack beside the wall. Together, we enter the corridor.
They aren't connected, so don't overthink it. It's just a coincidence. Speaking of which, there's been progress with the analysis of that crystal.
Is it related to Protocol Syndrome?
At the moment, I've developed a hypothesis based on the data. I'll share the details with you once there are conclusive results.
Stepping into the elevator, I pressed the button for the ground floor. Zayne's reflection appeared on the closed doors, the dark circles under his eyes underlining a deeper weariness. Take your time. You should deal with your insomnia first.
Since I can't sleep, I might as well be productive with my time.
So it's not that doctors can't treat themselves. They don't actually want to be treated. I ordered some milk for you. It'll be delivered to your place and should help you sleep. Also, the hypnotic music...
Are you referring to the lullaby playlist? Did you forget how old I am?
I'm just trying to help as a normal hunter. You don't have to listen to me, Dr. Zayne.
Since I am your one and only doctor, I should listen to you.
We step out of the elevator and my watch begins to ring. Someone's calling me. I gesture to Zayne and then move to the side to answer it. Captain Jenna.
Hey, are you available right now? We've detected beta protocurve activity in a certain location.
After a brief explanation, Captain Jenna quickly ends the call.
Why are you frowning? Did something happen?
My mission got an update. I need to check in with Captain Jenna, so I might not be able to have dinner with you. Just as I'm about to sprint to the hospital's main entrance, a pair of hands lands on my shoulders and steers me to a different direction.
Don't run just yet. I'll drive you there.
Upon arriving at the association, I find Alpha Team's office engulfed in silence. Only Jenna stands before the control desk. Her gaze is fixated on a few zoomed-in photos that are being projected.
Perfect timing. Let's look at these together.
She waves her hand, and those photos are pushed towards me. As I approach to get a closer look, it becomes evident that a distinct figure appears in every picture. The figure is also marked with conspicuous colors, which show traces of a beta protocorv. All of them are from the same Wanderer.
Yes, including this morning. Andrew has found its traces 5 times. Beta protocurve activity was detected in every instance.
That means it's related to an ether core.
It could very well be carrying one, or an ether core fragment.
Another screen comes into view, showcasing an array of data and information. And positioned at the center is a blurred image of a wanderer.
This wanderer can move by distorting space, and we haven't captured a complete image of it yet. However, the Intel department made a discovery. In areas where it did appear, many patients with protocore syndrome have fallen into a coma. Some even go into shock.
My gaze then falls on the left side of the screen. The text reads, Location, Chancellor City.
I'll be heading to Chancellor City next week. There are a few patients with a severe case of protocore syndrome, so they require Oxo Hospital's assistance for their treatment.
Those patients that Zayne mentioned might actually be victims of this wanderer.
Right now, we suspect there's a connection between these two incidents. We could start looking into those patients. And it just so happens that Oxo Hospital will send a medical team to Chansha City next week.
Captain, I would like to make a request. Let me join the medical team as a hunter escort to investigate the wanderer.
Your request has been approved. Our Chansha branch has also started its own operation. Your mission is to confirm whether or not there are signs of an ether core. You can contact us anytime if you need help. We'll be there to offer whatever assistance we can.
Understood. I'll be careful. As I leave the association, Zayne's figure appears in the distance. He's been patiently waiting by the road. Just as I'm about to walk over, a massive bouquet of white roses suddenly appears and engulfs my vision.
Miss, I've heard so much about you. It's an honor to finally meet you in person.
And you are?
I'm sorry. I almost forgot that this is our first meeting. But you should have already received my business card a few days ago, along with the flowers.
The man has a gentle gaze, as if to be friendly. He extends his other hand towards me.
I'm Carter, from Xander Sciences.
I recall seeing a business card that had mysteriously appeared on my desk not too long ago. It was accompanied by attention-grabbing deliveries as well. Oh, those were from you.
Thanks to your efforts in apprehending those protocore merchants, Xander Sciences was able to recover a valuable batch of protocores. Many patients were saved as a result. Naturally, I wanted to express my gratitude. I wonder if you'll do me the honor of having dinner with me, miss?
She already has plans for tonight.
A hand pushes away the bouquet. Zayne then pulls me to his side, and he moves to stand between me and Carter. Upon seeing Zayne's face, Carter's expression noticeably darkens.
What a coincidence, Zayne. It's been such a long time since we last saw each other. Why don't the three of us have dinner together? My treat.
My gaze quickly shifts from Carter's smile to Zayne's indifferent eyes. I sort of understand what's going on. I'm sorry, Mr. Carter. The association strictly prohibits hunters from accepting dinner invitations for work purposes.
Let's go.
Just as I'm about to turn around, the bouquet blocks my path again.
Miss, I understand there are rules about not having dinner, but the flowers didn't do anything wrong, right?
Before I have the opportunity to decline, Zayne swiftly takes the white roses. He glances at them, and with a blank expression, he gives the roses back to Carter.
They're much appreciated. Unfortunately, there's no room for them in my car.
Miss Hunter?
With Zayne holding my arm, I leave. Carter persistently follows us.
Actually, I'm here to give you a reminder. The outside world isn't as safe as Lincoln. Be careful when you're traveling.
Now why does that sound like a threat?
Seatbelt.
Zayne turns the steering wheel, and the car joins the stream of flowing traffic. That guy seems to know you pretty well. Are you acquainted with him? And Xander Sciences. I feel like I've heard that name from somewhere. Raymond.
Your colleague praised you, saying there are things only the two of you can do. I'm very curious now. Xander Sciences will provide you with the best staff, the best lab, and even the best treatment.
The person Raymond mentioned when we were at his place. That's Carter, right?
We studied under the same professor. That's it. The paths we're walking are completely different.
You two aren't like-minded from what I can tell. I also feel like he's a bit suspicious. It was obvious he didn't show up just to invite me to dinner, and I can see you're very cautious around him. Is there bad blood between you two? You can tell me about it.
It's not interesting.
Zayne has bad blood with someone, and he's very wary of him. Isn't that interesting already?
The fact that he gave you roses is more than enough to put me on high alert.
Why?
But when he told you to be careful while traveling, I doubt that was a simple, friendly reminder.
Just as I'm about to tell Zayne about my trip, I think twice. I shake my head and smile. Maybe Carter was annoyed by how we were ignoring him. That's why he tried to scare us. Zayne glances at me, a hint of amusement in his eyes. He doesn't say anything else about the topic. Three days later, Lincoln Airport. In the bustling airport lounge, Grayson is stunned. Several seconds pass before he finally blinks.
So, you're our hunter escort this time?
Pleased with Grayson's reaction, I can't help but imagine what expression Zayne will have when he sees me later. I move closer to him and shake my plane ticket at him. What's that expression? Do you feel relieved? Or are you even more anxious?
Do you want to know the truth?
While Grayson's tone sounds lighthearted, a subtle tinge of concern appears on his expression.
They say the hospitals are doing an academic exchange, but in reality, we're going there to help them. Why else would they send such a large team, or even request a hunter escort for that matter?
Having Zayne fly all the way there, the situation must be pretty bad.
Actually, the main problem is with one of the patients.
Grayson lowers his voice and leans in closer.
His biopsy results show that the crystals in his heart have a certain shape and structure that's different from the ones you'd see with protocore syndrome. Also, when he was admitted to the hospital, he caused a metaflux burst.
As if worried I wouldn't believe him, Grayson takes out his phone and shows me a video.
My friend who works at Chancha Hospital sent me this. All the flux stabilizers in the ER went down. It was a mess.
In the video, the sound of an alarm fills the air, and the lights flicker uncontrollably. Despite the shaky and blurred footage, the chaotic nature of the scene is unmistakable. An abnormal heart, a sudden burst of metaflux. A picture begins to form in my mind, something strangely familiar.
Thankfully, no wanderers showed up, but it's strange considering how high the fluctuation index was.
The fluctuation index only tells us the chances of a wanderer appearing. It's not guaranteed. But given the nature of the energy fluctuation, it's weird not a single wanderer appeared. I watched the video again to search for anything I might have missed. Is the metaflux a result of the patient being exposed to that wanderer and the beta protocorv? Grayson, do you mind showing me the other documents related to this?
Sure. What would you like to see?
You shouldn't make assumptions when things are still uncertain.
As Grayson and I lean in, a hand suddenly appears between us. Grayson is slightly nudged to the side.
Dr. Zayne.
In one smooth motion, the hand takes the phone, turns off the screen, and then places it back in Grayson's hand.
Chansha Hospital was built a long time ago. It's not uncommon for their flux stabilizers to experience malfunctions. As for the patient's biopsy results, they need to be further analyzed along with other reports. It's too early to jump to any conclusions.
Should you be giving us all this complicated medical stuff about the patient? I lock eyes with Zayne. He stands before me with one hand resting on the handle of his suitcase. Good morning, Dr. Zayne. I hold up a paper bag. Do you want a black tea cake or egg sandwich? You can only choose one.
I'll have the cake. Did you arrive at the airport early to buy breakfast?
When did I ever say that? I retrieve my suitcase from behind a chair and proudly present my ID as a hunter escort to Zayne. Surprise! Contrary to my expectations, I see no traces of astonishment in Zayne's expression. Instead, he calmly hands me a hot latte.
Have you ever thought about who approved and signed your escort application and ID request?
So he was one step ahead. The flight takes several hours. Eventually, the plane lands at Changsha Airport. Boarding the shuttle sent by Changsha Hospital, the medical team immediately heads to their destination. The chief of surgery, his hair already starting to gray, exchanges pleasantries with Zayne before quickly delving into a discussion about the patient.
They're on ECMO. After the open heart surgery, adhesions began to develop. And this morning, we saw the crystals spreading. They're very close to the lungs now.
Then we'll have to perform surgery as soon as possible.
Zayne quickly flips through the patient's medical record while putting marks on the paper.
Crystal extraction is already a complex procedure. Those adhesions, we're worried.
This is our only option. We must perform the surgery. Let's reassess the patient's health and proceed once his physical condition allows it.
A few hours later, the surgical lights are turned on in the operating room. The rhythmic sounds of medical equipment reverberate. Led by Zayne, a team of medical staff focuses on the surgery at hand. The observation room is filled with people, and their gazes are fixed on the large screen. On it, a pair of hands uses a scalpel to meticulously remove the tiny crystals.
Clear the view.
After ensuring there's no unusual activity, I make my way back to the glass.
Dr. Zayne is brave for taking on such a risky case.
That sounds like such an AI voice. Captain Willow.
We meet again.
During my previous visit to Changsha City, we worked together. After exchanging formalities, she shows me the updated data. In a matter of seconds, the record of a wanderer's recent activities appears on my watch built-in 3D map. It managed to traverse the entire city in 5 minutes. I've never seen a wanderer move that fast before. Captain Jenna said there's no clear image of the wanderer yet. Do you have any new leads?
We did some comparisons. Aside from the protocurves not aligning, the wanderer closely resembles Mist.
But if you look at all the data, the traits of this wanderer exhibits are different from the Mists I've seen.
Yeah. I don't know what got into it, and how it managed to hide so well.
Perhaps the Isa core made it mutate or something. Suddenly, discussion erupts next to us. It draws my and Willow's attention to the screen. A scale-like tiny crystal is slowly being peeled away from the edge of a blood vessel.
Surgeons have some steady hands, huh?
That crystal. It's exactly like the ones on the monsters in the N109 zone. Zayne must have noticed it too. Regaining my composure, I immediately look at him. Under the surgical cap, his eyes remain calm and focused. He continues with the procedure until the crystal is placed onto the surgical tray.
Does it look alright on the ultrasound?
Yes, it came off.
Any bleeding?
No.
Let's wrap it up.
Applause erupts throughout the observation room, and relief washes over me. However, I feel a strange, unusual tremor in my chest. Something is rapidly expanding. Metaflux! The alarm from the flux stabilizers resounds throughout the entire operating room. Captain Willow and I exchange a look and immediately get to work. She starts evacuating the spectators while I run to the intercom. Zayne, a wanderer is about to appear. You need to move.
Dr. Zayne, the patient's blood pressure is dropping. Increase the adrenaline to 0.1 micrograms.
The alarm becomes louder. I immediately pull out my gun and aim at the area where the energy fluctuation has peaked. The faint energy fluctuation dissipates, yet the tremors I feel in my chest show no signs of subsiding. Zayne, you need to leave, or else it'll be too late.
The patient's vitals are unstable. Moving them isn't feasible right now.
Through the glass, Zayne looks up at me. His gaze is calm as ever.
Can you suppress the accumulating metaflux with your evil?
I meet Zayne's gaze that carries a subtle attempt to comfort me. My attention turns to Grayson and the others, who are visibly worried. They wait for my response. I'll do my best.
Give me 5 minutes. Let's continue.
Using my Evo and the flux stabilizers, I successfully buy the necessary time for Zayne to finish suturing. When the surgery ends, the metaflux suddenly dissipates, as if what happened earlier was an illusion. Other medical staff will handle the follow-up procedures. I change out of my sterile suit. Just as I'm catching my breath, Zayne pulls me into the lounge where no one's around.
Give me your left hand. I'll do a quick evil examination.
Zayne sits down a metal tray, picks up a cotton ball soaked in medicine, and begins to disinfect my hand. Wait, I was injured? I'm fine. I might have overdone it, but my use of Evo is better than before.
While that is how you feel, I suggest waiting for the results and listening to what your primary care physician has to say. Also,
a cool sensation emanates from the palm of my hand as he holds my fingers. He applies patches to each one.
you should be well aware that the metaflux earlier wasn't something an ordinary wanderer could generate.
You knew since the beginning.
Don't tell me you actually believed I thought you were a hunter escort whose sole purpose is to protect us.
Of course. You and Dr. Noah have known about the existence of Isacors for a while now. Straightening my posture, I start thinking. You noticed it during the surgery, right? That crystal was very similar to the sample I gave you. I'm almost 100% sure the wanderer that attacked this patient is related to the Isacor. It's possible the Isacor made those monsters in the N109 zone transform into their current state.
Not necessarily.
The examination machine beeps. Zayne observes the fluctuating numbers displayed on the screen as he continues to speak.
The ether core shouldn't be what's causing the mutations. Your heart's integration with one is a perfect example. Given the extent of the mutation you've described, I'm more inclined to believe that someone attempted to be smart, but ended up failing in the process.
Are you saying someone is responsible for the appearance of these monsters and this patient's condition?
I'm merely speculating. Don't forget, in this world, many forces covet the ether core. You haven't met all of them yet.
You're right.
All is well.
The machine beeps, which indicates the end of the examination. Zayne carefully removes the patches from my hand and puts them away. In the quiet room, the second hand of the wall clock moves quietly, plucking the faint light enveloping us. I can't help but yawn. I told you I was fine. If I have to say there's a problem, then I'm feeling a little tired now.
Watching a surgery must have been boring.
Not at all. It's actually my first time seeing you perform surgery. You look cool. Taking a paper bag from the table, he settles on one side of the couch. He grabs a sandwich and pulls it apart with his clean hands.
The hospital cafeteria is closed. We'll have to make do with what's available to us.
While the chaos has subsided, the persistent scent of disinfectant lingers in my nostrils. When my body is tired, my mind still... While my body is tired, my mind is still excited. I decided to direct my excess energy to the surgeon himself. Weren't you listening to me before? Someone said he'll learn to accept compliments from others.
I accept your compliment.
The sandwich bread is already flat and no longer looks appetizing. With the finesse of a seasoned chef, Zayne lifts the bread and removes the greasy bacon. He then proceeds to discard the wilted lettuce, leaving only the ham slices, red cabbage, and shredded pork that have withstood the test of time. Today will be very memorable for me. Not only did I see you perform surgery for the first time, I also had the privilege of observing a sandwich undergo surgery.
I've just removed the parts that experienced excessive nutrient loss and would have impacted digestion.
Is nutrition one of the things you research? Is there anything Dr. Zayne can't master?
I have to admit that when it comes to accepting compliments, I'm not very good in front of you. But I suppose there's a chance for you to teach me in person.
Looking at me with a meaningful expression, Zayne places the surgery-affected sandwich into my hand. He then pulls out his phone. Baffled, I lean in and watch as Zayne taps on a message notification. He opens up a new medical team group chat, which was created earlier today. Grayson has shared a group photo there, where the medical staff, their smiles tinged with weariness, hold glass vessels that are visibly cracked. Were these cracked by the energy I couldn't contain when I lost my target?
You overdid it, yes. But the medical staff said you're the most surprising hunter they've ever seen.
They don't even need to go that far. Embarrassed, I sheepishly laugh. I quickly shift my attention to eliminating the sandwich. Before Zayne can speak, his phone abruptly starts ringing.
Hello?
Upon hearing the voice on the other end, Zayne freezes. Surprise appears on his face.
The patient woke up?
When Zayne, Grayson, and I arrive at the entrance to the ICU, a nurse approaches us.
Do you know why he regained consciousness so quickly?
We're not sure. He shouldn't have woken up already. Look at this, Dr. Zayne. All his vital signs are improving.
Zayne and Grayson change into sterile suits and enter the ward. I wait outside.
Can you hear me? Do you remember where we are? Look at my finger.
I really wasn't expecting him to save the patient when they were at death's door.
Mr. Carter?
Hello. We meet again, miss.
With the sudden appearance of Carter, I cautiously step to the side. However, he greets me with a smile. He raises both his hands.
Don't get the wrong idea. I wasn't following you. This patient happens to be an important client of Xander Sciences. After hearing about the incident, I decided to pay him a visit.
You weren't there when he was in critical condition. I don't think he's that important to you.
What do you mean?
He leans against the wall and casually looks at the glass door.
If it weren't for Xander Sciences, his fragile heart would have stopped a long time ago. What we're pursuing is far more stunning and ambitious than these petty solutions.
Is that so? Observing my indifferent reaction, Carter furrows his brow. A hint of disappointment appears on his face.
Aren't you curious about the kind of work we're doing?
I'm not. He shakes his head, and his usual pretentious smile graces his face again.
It's okay. You'll be interested someday. After all, only Xander Sciences can provide answers to the questions about your heart.
How did he know that? Frowning, I suppress the urge to ask more. I redirect my attention back to the ward.
Hey, Dr. Zayne wants you inside.
Grayson hurriedly walks out and hands me a sterile suit.
Excuse me, this is the ICU. For the patient's sake, we kindly request that unrelated individuals leave.
Having no intention of paying any more attention to Carter, I change into the sterile suit and enter the room. The man lying down on the bed has his eyes half open. His voice is weak yet infused with tangible excitement.
I'm back. I'm back. All his vital signs appear to be normal. However, under normal circumstances, a person wouldn't recover this quickly.
As Zayne talks, he directs a meaningful look at me.
More anomalies may occur. Stay on your toes.
Acknowledging his warning, I nod. I move to the bed, introduce myself, and state the purpose of my visit. I then proceed to ask questions. Davis, you said you're back. Where were you?
It trapped me. I couldn't get out. It was like a nightmare. I couldn't wake up.
I turn on my watch and pull up a picture of the mist. When you say it, do you mean this?
Yes. It was that thing. It was inside of me. But it wasn't.
Suddenly, the vital signs monitor starts beeping loudly. The man on the bed begins convulsing as if something started choking him. Metaflux. Zayne! I quickly pull out my gun and sense a more intense fluctuation. It surges and engulfs the entire room instantly.
Grayson, transfer the patient to another room and prepare for resuscitation.
Unexpectedly, a rift appears and reveals the shadowy figure of a wanderer. Moving myself to the front of the bed, I point my gun at the wanderer. However, it disappears in the blink of an eye. A second later, it materializes like a phantom in another location.
Hey, behind you.
Evading its slash, I aim my gun at the center of the fluctuation. However, a tremor overwhelms my chest. I barely feel any pain. Only a dense white fog surges before me and obscures my vision. The ward dissipates as if my surroundings are transforming into another realm. The last thing I see is Zayne rushing towards me. Zayne, watch out! It feels as though my body is plummeting into a sick fog. The sensations of weightlessness threatens to push my heartbeat out of my chest. Amidst the chaos, I muster all my strength to find something, anything to hold on to. And after what feels like forever, my feet touch solid ground. My surroundings become clear. Bathed in dim, feeble light, a long corridor appears before me. Its end remains hidden in the mist. Am I in a hospital? No. I feel a faint tremor in my chest. A familiar energy fluctuation surges with the mist. It drags me somewhere. This fluctuation is from an ether core. I'm probably in the Wanderer's protofield. As I stand in the empty space, the sound of approaching footsteps reaches my ears. Turning around, I notice a dark figure. Zayne? An onslaught of sharp ice crystals materializes around me. They're ready to pierce my heart. The ground beneath me disappears, and I find myself falling into a sense of weightlessness again. As I float in this void, blurred lights and sounds rush past me like an avalanche. Within the boundless darkness is as if a pair of hands is gently lifting my tired soul. I struggle to open my eyes. After feeling my steady heartbeat for several seconds, I sit up on the bed.
You're awake.
Zayne. By the floor-to-ceiling window stands a figure wearing black clothing. He turns around. Behind him are dilapidated buildings around the sunset's tender light. Zayne. The figure takes another step, his appearance nearly overlapping with the dark figure I had seen before. I move back.
How are you feeling?
After hesitating for a moment, I reach out and touch his cheek. I trace his eyebrows and the contours of his face. I recognize the features I know so well. In the silence, he remains motionless. He just looks at me. I'm fine. I think I just had a dream. Perhaps it's the influence of the protofield that caused me to have those strange illusions. Shaking my head to clear my thoughts, I shift my focus to the room. The cracked, greyish-white walls enclose a space where a sofa, holographic screen, refrigerator, and various functional home appliances sit in close proximity. It looks like the home of someone who struggles with living a normal life.
Do you remember what happened in the ward?
The wanderer that suddenly appeared, the tremor in my heart, and Zayne running towards me. Memories gradually find their way back to my mind. Are we still in the Wanderer's protofield?
Yes.
Following Zayne's gaze, I get up from the bed and join him in looking out the window. As the final remnants of twilight vanish, the city stands before us under a light blue sky. Its desolation is evident. This place is a rusted skeleton of its former self. And although it's faint, the energy fluctuations around us are similar to an ether core's. This Wanderer's protocore must possess an ether core's energy. But in my dream, it's as if the chill from those ice crystals still linger in the air. I grip my arms more tightly.
You're awake now. Remember that whatever you dreamt about was only a dream.
A blanket is draped over my shoulders. I reach out, but he walks away before I can touch him. Zayne opens the refrigerator, revealing a collection of peculiar bottles with mysterious liquids and a jar half filled with chocolate. After opening the jar, he offers a few pieces to me, their packaging unexpectedly fancy. I'm not hungry.
According to my perception of time, you've been unconscious for 2 days.
So long?
If you don't eat or drink something, I'm afraid you won't have the energy to find the Wanderer.
The scent of chocolate saturates the air and ignites my appetite. What if the Wanderer launches a surprise attack while we're resting? Despite my words, I find myself sinking into the worn-out couch. I unwrap the chocolates with Zayne. I look up, and my gaze falls upon a bit of vibrant green on the desk. It's a flower pot with a jasmine in it. It sticks out like a sore thumb in this desolate world. While the branches and leaves retain their green hue, the stem has already started to wither. Is it normal to see jasmines in a Wanderer's protofield?
What are you implying?
The patient who was attacked by the Wanderer fell into a nightmare. They were trapped in their own dream. In other words, the environment we're currently seeing in the protofield must also be a manifestation of someone's dream. Yours. And I don't ever remember seeing anyone. And I don't remember ever seeing anything here. This is your dream.
Are there any comments you'd like to make about it?
Even in a world as broken as this, chocolate still exists. I expected nothing less than you.
Shouldn't you be saying something like, "Thank goodness it's Zayne's dream. We can still eat chocolate."
Zayne, who's wearing nothing but black clothes, appears somewhat strange. Maybe this is how he sees himself in his dreams.
I have dreamt of this place. However, the jasmine hasn't wilted yet, and the world itself isn't in such a dilapidated state.
Is this the nightmare you've been having, then? Zayne is quiet for a while before responding in a soft voice.
Yes.
Don't be scared. Dreams are the opposite of reality. I offered to unwrap chocolate to his lips. Try it. Who knows? Maybe the chocolate in your nightmares doesn't even taste like chocolate. He lowers his head and eats the chocolate.
It's carrot flavored.
Liar. He looks out the window again, where the silhouette of a bird flies across the darkening sky.
Since dreams are the opposite of reality, perhaps I'm not a doctor in this one.
Everything is a hazy blur in dreams. Yet in Zayne's dream, the flowers, trees, streets, and shops appear with remarkable clarity. I can't help but wonder how long this dream has haunted him, insistently replaying itself to the point where every detail is fleshed out.
While it resembles my dreamscape, I can tell it's a protofield. Over there.
He guides me to the entrance of a narrow alley. The road ahead is covered in thick fog. It's as if we reached the edge of the dream itself. From the fog, a cluster of black crystals have emerged. It blooms like a flower and is as tall as a 3-story building. It blocks the path. A protocol cluster.
It regenerates very quickly after it's broken. I'd say it's as good as new within a few seconds. Yes, I tried destroying it before you woke up.
As I recall my past battles, a hypothesis forms in my mind. I think I know what's going on here. There must be another protocol cluster in this protofield, and they provide energy to each other. We need to destroy both of them to leave this protofield.
Eating sweets certainly makes one smarter.
Hey, thank you for the compliment. I gestured towards him. So, I'm only slightly smarter than you. Chuckling, Zayne pulls down my hand. Since this is your dream, do you think you know where the other protocol cluster is?
When you're in a protofield, using evol in a scientific matter is more effective than dreaming.
The protofield is practically drenched in erratic energy fluctuations. Yet amidst the entanglement of protocorps, I detect one that stands out. I open my eyes and point in a direction. From what I've sensed, the second protocol cluster should be on the other side of the protofield. Similar energy fluctuations appear from another direction. I look at Zayne. Which one would you like to pick? Zayne looks into the distance. I don't know if I imagined it or not, but some sort of emotion stirred in his eyes.
The one that's farthest away.
The far end of the city is cloaked in black mist, resembling the gaping maw of a beast hidden in the shadows. Nope, I want that one. I understand this is your dream, so you are going to know where the dangers are. But are you going to face them alone again?
This is my dream. I can get to my destination faster than you.
But your dream isn't exactly being nice to you right now. Maybe the more you try to use it, the more it'll use you instead. Let me go instead. Don't push yourself when you're in trouble. I got your back. That's a tip from your hunter escort. Smiling, I take a step and pat his back. Without waiting for Zayne to respond, I wave and start walking.
Don't push yourself. That's a tip from your primary care physician.
Behind me, I hear a soft sigh followed by Zayne's words that are tinged with worry. Turning around, I catch a glimpse of him standing in the shadows. He's far away now, so I can't exactly see his expression. I press my lips into a thin line and nod. Regardless of whether it's him or me, we know we'll always support each other. As the girl walks away, her figure disappearing from the fork in the road, Zayne turns his gaze towards the alley's depths. Within the thick fog, a broken streetlight flickers intermittently. He raises his hand. Parts of the mist detach themselves from the air, spiraling and condensing. They coalesce into icicles above his palm. Dark impurities silently emerge from within them, but they stop spreading just as they're about to reach the outermost layer of the white crystals. It's as if a looming black hole threatens to consume everything pure and white. The thin, unwavering layer of pristine ice remains resolute in being the last line of defense. Shadows stretch, and in the boundless fog ahead, the Protocol cluster awaits his arrival like a slumbering wanderer. Within the mist, a cold wind materializes as aggressive figures sluggishly stir. The ice crystals in his palm slice the air and seemingly hit nothing, but the Protocol cluster shimmers for a fleeting moment. As more wanderers emerge, their roars resound and their figures phase in and out. The ice crystals solidify into sharp blades. Zayne delivers his attacks with decisive precision. Blades of ice tear through the darkness, and a pungent scent permeates the air. The ground beneath his feet slowly transforms. It turns soft and slimy like sludge, stubbornly clinging to his legs. Dazed, Zayne looks down, peering through the mist and layers of unclear ice. His gaze falls onto his palm.
Zayne!
A bloody hue takes his hand, and an eerie shadow is cast over his senses. He is momentarily transported back to that bone-chilling nightmare. Zayne is shocked. He looks up and knows who's standing before him. The tension is palpable, gripping him.
William? It's too late. Please.
In the howling ice wind, Zayne hears his heavy breaths. Once again, he is returned to the endless snow-covered expanse of Mount Eternal. Bloody tears stream down from William's empty eye sockets. Then an array of faces emerges from the cluster's projection.
Aren't you going to celebrate my birthday with me? Why did you kill me? Aren't you a doctor? You should have saved me! Why didn't you save me and my child?
Zayne, please. Kill me.
He's suffocating. He's trapped. His head is spinning. Zayne notices his fingers are trembling uncontrollably. He staggers back only to trip over something again.
It's just an illusion. It's not real. It's not.
More and more hands stretch out towards him. They're frozen. The space around him shatters and distorts into mirrors. They reflect his bloodshot eyes. They reflect his hands are clenched so tightly that veins bulge. A black icicle suddenly pierces through the mirror and shatters part of the Protocol cluster. The Protocol cluster doesn't regenerate. It resembles a cliff teetering on the edge, ready to collapse in on itself.
She made it.
As the mirror shards dissolve into black mist, the cold light intensifies and casts an ethereal glow, Determined, Zayne thrusts the ice blade towards the human figure. Zayne! The ice blade stops as Zayne's pupils contract. It's her. But she can't possibly be here. They're your patients. How could you? Am I next? Yo, kill me. Right? No, you're not Zayne. Who are you? It's a face he knows so well in this unspeakable nightmare. Her expression is filled with disbelief and pain. Yes, it's her. Zayne, kill me. Black ice flowers bloom from her chest, then petals unfurling. She's as light as a piece of paper, separated from life's weight. Yet she falls almost with a thud in his stiff embrace. Buzzing engulfs Zayne's ears as he's once again pulled into the depths of a never-ending nightmare. While he knows it's an illusion, he can't break free. At that moment, the cracked protocol cluster pulsates with a blood-red light. The air trembles around it. The massive shadow before him breaks along with the other protocol cluster. The illusion in his arms changes again, but he doesn't look up. He only clenches his fist.
It's time to end this.
The cold gleam flickers, and pure black ice crystals surge beneath him. They freeze every figure that lurks within the shadows. The darkness is suppressed, and his surroundings change. It's foggy. A blurry figure gradually emerges from the cracks in the space. Zayne conjures black ice and takes aim. However, his body becomes immobile as if he's frozen in place.
You shouldn't throw yourself into danger just for her.
Oh.
His entire body becomes encased in ice. Black crystals pierce his chest and spread to his fingers. The intense pain leaves Zayne's back drenched in sweat. He is unable to control his body as he collapses. His heart races in fear as he hears that cold voice.
Seek your destiny. Only then can you be redeemed.
Was that Astra? As the protocol cluster shatters, a distant tremor ripples through the air. The space around me transforms into mist, and moonlight shines down. Then the fog dissipates. I can feel the ground beneath my feet. I cautiously assess my surroundings and see I'm in a garden at the back of a hospital. Something's not right. This is Lincoln's Axel Hospital, but we should be in Changsha. My heartbeat quickens, and a sense of foreboding washes over me. Holding my gun, I push open the door that leads to the hospital. Behind the door, a white mist emerges. When it cleared, I noticed I was back at Zayne's place. By the couch, someone was lying on the floor with their back to me. Zayne!
Be careful. We haven't escaped this dream. There are 2 layers, and the Wanderer is still here.
I rush over to Zayne and help him up. He weakly presses his hand against his left shoulder. His expression alone shows how much he's in pain. The ice! Zayne clenches his left hand and moves away from my hand.
The ice. It's dangerous. Don't touch. It's too dangerous. I won't be able to control. Leave. Now.
A sudden voice in my head gives me pause. Despite the warning, I leaned in to inspect Zayne's injury, feeling my heart sink with each passing moment. There are no visible external injuries on his body, yet a blackened ice spreads across his wrists and neck. It doesn't seem like it'll disappear anytime soon. I don't think you're just losing control of your evil. Let me see if I can help. It doesn't look like you're fine. It starts to melt. Since my mess is working, it'll take a while.
Don't waste your time on me. We can still go after her.
Focus on taking care of yourself first. From now, you listen to me. It doesn't matter if it's related to health or combat. There's no use resisting. If I were you, I'd listen and follow along. I'll help you suppress your evil.
My left shoulder, a little lower.
You might be more familiar with what happens with dreams, but I'm an expert in dealing with wanderers. I won't be able to save you if you rush in head first.
I would hope so.
You!
I know how this nightmare ends. Wanderers aren't the only threat here. When push comes to shove, leaving me behind might be for the best.
I always keep my word. Aside from that,
If I do something that ends up hurting you, don't go easy on me.
you wish. Didn't you agree that you'll do whatever I say? Here's my first order. You're not allowed to talk like that anymore. Wait, this is... Zayne, be careful.
What happened? Letting you step into this nightmare, perhaps, was another mistake. But at least I have one last choice.
As I gather my thoughts, the weary face before me momentarily merges with the blurry image of Zayne and my fragmented memories, but they immediately separate. Wait, when I was pulled into the protofield, I was attacked by wanderers and lost consciousness. The wound should be on my body, but it's gone. I give Zayne an inquisitive look. I want an answer, but he averts his gaze instead. Zayne, what did you do while I was unconscious? Zayne, what did you do while I was unconscious? Is this why you're losing control of your evil? His silence confirms my suspicions. I lower my head and my hands that rest on his tighten. Before the worry and guilt in my heart coalesce into coherent words, they disappear because of Zayne's presence. He lowers his head, and his chin rests on the top of my head.
You're my hunter escort, correct? Protecting you was protecting myself. And after subjecting you to a distressing dream, ensuring you can leave safely is the least I should do.
Why are you making it sound like you dragged me through hell and back? Your dream doesn't hurt me. The mist is exploiting it.
What if the Wanderer wasn't the only source of danger? You've seen how bleak and oppressive this dream is. As you said, it's not exactly being nice to me. Perhaps the dream itself is the real threat here.
Zayne talks slower, enunciating each word with a gentle tone. It's as if he's trying to calm his simmering inner turmoil. I realized something. After we entered the protofield that's been based on Dane's dream, he's been acting more hesitant. Could it be? Zayne, this nightmare is more than just a dream to you, right? I sense his hand subtly move, a testament to its master's emotions that are always restrained.
A dream remains a dream so long as you wake up from it. But when that day comes, when I can't wake up.
Are you worried you'll be trapped in your dreams? Or that your dreams will encroach on reality? If that day ever comes, I'll find you in your dream. Even if the world falls into chaos and everything turns upside down, I'll never forget who I am, and I won't forget who you are. By then, I'll find you in your dreams, the real you. The resonance light quietly flows from my fingers as I make a not-so-solemn promise in a calm voice. Zayne's breath hitches, as if it's suspended in the air for a while. Then he exhales, his breath carrying the weight of unspoken sentiments. If all else fails, I'll bury you in the body of a snowman. You'll be a super big snowman.
What?
I close my eyes and banish the myriad of questions and worries from my mind. If you can't deal with it yourself, then we'll face it together. I'm the best there is, so I'm sure I can lend a hand.
I see your problem-solving skills are more on the straightforward, brutal side. Should we consider this a side effect of you becoming stronger?
It's called having the freedom that comes with power. All the black ice has disappeared. How are you feeling? Does it still hurt? I look up and meet Zayne's gaze. It seems he's been observing me for a while.
It doesn't hurt anymore.
Don't. Just as I'm about to tell Zayne not to lie again, he turns over my hand. A sliver of glimmering, icy light appears in my palm. He takes back his hand, and two chubby little ice seals tumble into my hand.
You get two. As an escort, you are very professional while on the job. This is your reward, since I have nothing else to give you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Zayne.
Do you trust me now?
From where I am, light and shadow dance upon his features. They accentuate the mirrors in his eyes. You keep telling me not to push myself, but you also need to stop disregarding your safety. He nods. I clench my hand and reach out to him. I help him stand on his feet as I get up. You said the stream has 2 layers. Are we in the outer one because we broke the inner layer? Zayne doesn't refute my statement. He turns around and walks ahead to open the door. We step out to be greeted by the night breeze. We retrace our steps through the corridor and return to the hospital garden, which feels familiar yet strange.
A mutated wanderer's protofield defies normal logic. It could be hiding anywhere.
Outside the hospital, skyscrapers rise like towering concrete trees in a forest. Meanwhile, the rest of the city stands in eerie silence. I can use my Evo to return the protofield to its original state.
Negative consequences born from mistakes don't need to be fixed.
The sky swiftly darkens, as if time itself has been accelerated.
We have no choice but to destroy this place.
Wait, your Evo. We'll do it together.
Are you ready?
Yes. black snowflakes drift from our interlocked fingers. The night wind momentarily suspends before swirling into a frenzied flurry once more. Underneath our feet, a vast expanse of ice crystals blossoms. The ground, the buildings, and even the particles floating in the air were all ensnared by the swift spread of the chilling light, wrapped in its icy embrace. In an instant, the entire world froze into a black amber. A rift violently tears through the fabric of the space. The Wanderer can't hide anymore. It screeches and reveals its true form. There it is. Let's go. Zayne's cloak flutters wildly in the wind. Amidst nightmarish darkness, an icy glimmer materializes in his hand.
Let's end this before the breaking dawn arrives.
Once the final blow is dealt to the Wanderer, an intense tremor surges from the depths of my heart. But the resonance is unmistakably this time. It's akin to gentle waves brimming with power. A light, warm glow gently descends into my palm. Is this Chancellor Hospital? The breaking dawn's light seeps in through the window. In the silent corridor, the air carries a faint smell of disinfectant. Have we returned? Zayne!
I'm here.
As my hand is tenderly squeezed, I turn my head. Zayne is next to me. Wait, I need to double check. Are we still in the protofield, or are we in reality? Turn around first. And turn back now. I want to squeeze his butt like this. Though his expression has a bit of helplessness, Zayne still complies.
Are you double-checking or making me play a game of turnaround?
I'm doing both. I'm confirming that Dr. Zayne is the person with me right now. A burst of laughter erupts from deep within me, but in the next second I collapse onto the ground. His arms immediately extend to steady me.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. I reach out but stop once I realize I'm holding something. I open my hand and see a protocol fragment. It emits a faint green glow. A fragment of the ether core. At least our effort wasn't for nothing.
You're back.
Dr. Zayne.
Captain Willow and the others rush over from the opposite end of the corridor. Their expressions reflect a mixture of relief, joy, and concern.
Are you two okay? You're not hurt, are you? It's been 3 whole days since you were trapped in that Wanderer's proto-field. Everyone's been worried sick.
From Captain Willow, I learned that exactly 3 days had passed since we entered the peculiar protofield. The patient has been relocated to a secure ward and is now out of danger following resuscitation. During this time, the entire hospital was being protected by Chancellor City's hunters who carried out a thorough investigation.
By the way, we discovered a strange device while investigating the ICU.
Speaking in a quieter tone, she gives me a sealed transparent bag.
We found it hidden inside a flux stabilizer that was sitting in a corner. Almost went unnoticed. Ever since that incident happened in the ER, the hospital's flux stabilizers have been examined or replaced.
So only recently did someone tamper with one of them. I take the sealed bag and show a grateful smile. I'll ask the association to conduct an investigation. Lincoln City, 3 days later. I open the door to Zayne's home. It's quiet. Zayne? I tiptoe into the living room. Zayne is peacefully sleeping on the couch. The curtains gently flutter in the warm breeze. Light and shadows glide from his nose to his chin. Is he sleeping or... Wake up. I move closer and place my hand over his chest. He's just sleeping. He must be exhausted. Approaching Zayne, I kneel down to be at eye level with him. I carefully cover him with a blanket that was draped on the couch. The tension on Zayne's furrowed brow dissipates. His breathing is steady, and his expression is serene and relaxed. I look at his face, the thoughts in my mind racing as I reflect on the whirlwind of events that have unfolded recently. You can finally rest. My watch vibrates. I leave the living room and answer Simone's call.
The preliminary analysis results are out for the thing you brought back.
Tell me.
It has an intricate structure. Took me a while to disassemble it. I found a radio frequency chip that resonates with metaflux fluctuations. Basically, it's an energy transmitter. It can locate protocors and even attract wanderers via fluctuations.
A wanderer-attracting transmitter. As I recall what had happened, one figure stands out as the most suspicious. Carter. He just showed up before and after the patient displayed abnormalities. I share my suspicions with Simone. She then poses her own questions.
The complexity of this small device is far beyond his understanding, and even Xander Sciences. It exhibits highly advanced protocore technology. Xander Sciences is a medical institution. There's no way they could possess protocore tech that rivals the associations, right?
But aren't they backed by Ever? So what are you thinking?
After the founder of Xander Sciences, Raymond, passed away, the company's future was uncertain. Only recently was it acquired by a well-known group. Its biggest shareholder right now should be Ever.
Ever. It's at that moment the fragmented pieces of information in my mind gradually lock into place and form a cohesive image. Carter mentioned the patient at Chancellor Hospital had been undergoing long-term treatment at Xander Sciences. Raymond, the founder of Xander Sciences, was in a similar situation. If the peculiar crystals in the operating room and the monsters in the N109 zone come from the same source, that means Ever is creating monsters. Once again, Zayne finds himself chasing after that familiar figure. Under radiant sunlight, cicadas chirp in the background while the pristine azure sky stretches far as the eye can see. The sun sits on the edge of the city's high-rise buildings. The girl turns to him. She smiles. At least he caught up to her.
Finally.
He holds out his hand to the girl, and she firmly grasps it. Yet the two find themselves tumbling back into the seemingly endless empty corridor. Black crystals emerge from his palm. They encroach on the girl's forearm. Sunlight is engulfed by darkness once more.